Claude Code rewrote a working payment function at 11 p.m. the night before a client demo. Silent. No warning. Shipped. If you're running a one-person business on Claude and you think a 4-hour course is going to save you when it quietly regresses a file between sessions, I have bad news. I got burned twice, lost a weekend, and built a 6-prompt QA harness that runs before every deploy and catches roughly 80% of regressions in under 4 minutes. Most tutorials teach you to build faster. Almost none teach the layer that catches what Claude breaks. I'm Lazar. I ship this in production every day. Let me show you the exact structure. Let's start with the 2 regressions that cost me the weekend. Because if you're running Claude Code on real client work, you've probably already been bitten and just haven't noticed yet. First one, an invoicing project. I had a working environment variable loader. Tested. Deployed. Fine. I asked Claude to add a new endpoint in the same file. It rewrote the loader while it was in there. Just decided the pattern it liked was better. The new pattern silently defaulted a missing key to an empty string instead of throwing, meaning in production, a missing API key didn't fail loudly. It failed quietly and started sending invoices with no auth header. I found out from the client. Second one, same week, different project. Claude removed a try except around an external API call because, quote, the error handling was redundant. It wasn't redundant. It wasn't redundant. It was the only thing catching a specific 429 rate limit from an upstream. Removed it, pushed, and the whole overnight batch job died at 3 a.m. with no logged error. Both of those happened not because Claude is bad. They happened because Claude is aggressive about refactoring. And I had no layer between Claude saying done and me pushing to production. So I built one. 6 prompts, each one is a short markdown file, around 40 lines. And they live in a folder called QA// in the repo. Claude runs them on itself before it's allowed to say the task is complete. Here's what each one does. Prompt 1 is the diff check. It takes the current working tree, compares against the last known good commit, and asks Claude to list every function whose signature or return type changed, every file where an import was removed, and every place where an error handler was deleted or narrowed. Not a summary. A list. If the list is empty and the task was supposed to add something, that's suspicious, and I want to know. Prompt 2 is the behavior check. This one takes the same diff and asks for each changed function. What was the old contract? What is the new contract? And is any caller in the codebase now broken by this change? Claude has to grep for callers. It has to name them. If it says no callers affected, I want to see the grep output that proves it. Prompt 3 is the external contract test. Every client project I run talks to at least 2 external APIs. For an invoicing product, that's a mail sender and a payment endpoint. For the ops bot, that's a chat API and a mail API. Prompt 3 is a checklist per external service. What endpoints do we call? What auth header do we send? What response shape do we expect? And does the current code still send and expect exactly that? If Claude touched the client for that service, this prompt catches it. Prompt 4 is the fixture replay. I keep a folder of recorded request response pairs from real production calls, sanitized. Prompt 4 asks Claude to trace, for each fixture, what our code would do with that input right now. And does it match the recorded output? This is the one that catches the silent envar story. The fixture had a missing key, the old code raised, the new code returned empty string, and the diff of expected versus actual is right there in the output. Prompt 5 is the security sweep. 3 things only. 1. Did any new file get committed with a hard-coded string that looks like a key, token, password, or bearer. 2. Did any log statement get added that prints a variable that could contain user data or auth material? 3. Did any endpoint get added that skips the auth middleware? That's it. Short prompt, boring output. But it catches the one time in 50 where Claude helpfully logs the full request headers to debug something and forgets to remove it. Prompt 6 is the secret scan and the push gate. It runs a plain regex sweep for common secret patterns across staged files, and it checks that the branch is not main and that the commit message references a task ID. If any of those fail, it refuses to say ready to push. Now the piece that actually makes this work, because 6 prompts sitting in a folder do nothing if you have to remember to run them. In the CLAUDE.md, at the root of the repo, there's a section called Definition of Done. It says, before you tell the user a task is complete, you must run QA/prompt1 through QA/prompt6 in order, paste the output of each into the conversation. And if any prompt reports a finding, you must stop and surface it. You are not done until all 6 pass or the user has explicitly acknowledged each finding. That's it. That paragraph is what turns 6 markdown files into a harness. Claude reads cd.md at the start of every session, and it will genuinely run the checks on itself before claiming done, because you told it that done means these 6 things passed. The whole thing takes under 4 minutes on a normal task. On a big refactor, it might take 7 or 8. Compared to a weekend of debugging why the invoice went out unauthenticated, that's the cheapest 4 minutes in the business. This is the QA layer that a 4-hour build faster course will not give you, and it's the difference between a one-person operation that ships and a one-person operation that ships broken. If you want the 6 prompt files as markdown, you can drop straight into your repo. They're in the resources section at BizflowAI.io, along with the CLAUDE.md snippet that wires them in. While you're there, this is what we actually build for clients: custom AI automation and integrations. Real examples on BizflowAI.io. Subscribe and hit the bell so the next breakdown on the operator stack finds you. I'm publishing the deploy gate next. And if you have a workflow you want automated end-to-end, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI.io.